Welcome to EDU World Space.
Let's find the x values for which this series that's given converges. So that'll be the first part of the question here. And then the second task is, for those values of x in part 1, let's go ahead and find the sum. So for part 1, let me rewrite this, since it's actually a geometric series, but it might not be obvious by the way that it's written right now. So I'll pull out the n outside the parentheses, and the reason we're allowed to do that, that's just the law of exponents here. That's just a to the n over b to the n. So I'm just using this fact here with 2 equals a and x equals b. So I see that this is geometric. I see that my r value is 2 over x. And I know that a geometric series will converge only if the absolute value of r is strictly less than 1. That's the requirement for convergence for geometric series. So in our case, we have absolute value r, absolute value 2 over x. Let's always simplify that before setting it less than 1. So I'll write this as 2 over absolute value of x, since 2 is always positive, less than 1. Then go ahead and solve this inequality. So let's multiply both sides by absolute value x. And here we can use the definition of the absolute value to find an inequality for x, or possibly more than one inequality. So in this case, we have the x has to be bigger than 2, or x has to be less than -2. So depending on how you want to write your answer for part 1 here, you could also write this as -infinity to -2, and the union for the or, and then 2 to infinity. So either of these for number 1 is acceptable. And for part 2, let's go ahead and save some room here, make some room on the side for part 2. Assuming that x is in this interval here, so x is bigger than 2 or less than -2, now let's go ahead and find the sum. So since this is geometric, the formula for geometric, the sum is equal to, it's always the first term. So this thing right here is our sum. First term over 1 minus r, common ratio. The first term here happens when you plug in n equals 0, or you can even do it over here. If you plug in n equals 0, you get 2 over x to the 0 power, which is 1. And then we have 1 minus r, which is 2 over x. And then you could simplify this to be x over x minus 2. So that will be the sum of the series, and that's our final answer.